Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well and all of you are safe and healthy. This is Radhika here, and this video is going to be about global narcissism and how the world is waking up to it. In this video, basically, what I want to discuss is how the world as a whole was enveloped in so much of narcissism historically, right? And if you look at the current landscape of news, especially if you look at it from the real news that is coming from real people and not just like puppets of empires who just give out propaganda news, what you will notice is people are really starting to see beyond the veil now. They are starting to see beyond the narcissistic, fake appearances of corporations, governments, the so called leaders who speak big words and make a lot of promises and don't deliver on any of it, and who are actively fooling people all the time into living worse lives than what they used to, right? So basically, if you look at the social media news, you will really see that the younger generation is actually waking up to a lot of narcissistic things that were being said to them and taught to them. um, Most of the younger generation nowadays is well equipped with things like with concepts like narcissism, gaslighting, manipulation, word salad, all of these things which were not out in the public conscience, even before 2016 or 2012. So basically what is happening is, with this new generation coming in, I know a lot of people hate on them. They call them lazy, they call them like they can't obey other people, they can't follow the rules, etc. But I feel that they are not supposed to obey the old world order, because they are here to create a new world, a new world which is different than the world that we have lived in. So I myself am like a millennial, so I fall kind of in between um, the previous generations to me, which is called like Gen X or the baby boomers. So these are the people who love the rules, who have these structures that they kind of fit into very well, because that was their conditioning. When they were kids, they had wars going on. They had this concept of, good nations and bad nations, and a particular kind of a philosophy of governing a country being good, like capitalism is good but socialism is bad. Like they had these extreme ideological point of views, and you see a lot of them are still in the powerful offices today, and they continue to spread such propaganda and such philosophy. Me as a millennial, I kind of fall in between this side of the spectrum, which is people who are extremely narcissistic, extreme point of views, rigid thinking. They cannot get out of their boxes, to think out of the box. And then the new generation, which is totally against the 9 to 5, against the norms, against, they question everything. They want to know, why do I have to spend my entire day sitting in front of a laptop making money, then buy a house which I will have to pay for in the next 30 years. So basically, I'm again stuck to this job for the next 30 years. So, they are kind of questioning the system. And maybe they are questioning the system because they lived their childhood with parents who were following this system. And what they realized is, I had a terrible childhood. I didn't enjoy my childhood. And then they question that, why did I not enjoy my childhood? Because my parents were slave to such a system, and that's why I did not enjoy my childhood. And maybe that's why I don't want to have children. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have like a 9 to 5 job that will work me to death. I don't even have time to spend with my kids. My kids are miserable, I'm miserable, everyone is miserable, but we are living in this system, right? So they have started to question all these things, and that's why a lot of them do not do a 9 to 5 job. That's why a lot of them are living as digital nomads. They don't want to own a lot of possessions. They don't need the most high end car to enjoy their life. They can use public transport. They are open to exploring different cultures, going to different countries that are cheaper probably than the US or UK or wherever where they are living in. And they can sustain a good life with the money that they have, and they are not so focused on building a legacy that will keep them alive even after they're dead. They, because they are living their life in the moment, they don't have to build a legacy, because the only people who build a legacy are the people who are really not living the current moment, and so they're always worried about what impact am I leaving on the world. You don't really have to leave an impact on the world. You can just enjoy your life and then die when the time is right for you to die, or when the consciousness wants you to leave this body, right? So they are not so worried about building a legacy. Now, for millennials like me, we kind of fall in between these two. So we kind of see the world changing, because when I was born, this was the way to live your life, to get an education, to get a degree, to get a good job, to marry, have a home, have a family. Now, I'm not saying there's anything bad in this. You can follow that path as well, but the problem is you have to have a balance in the middle. If you're living your life in such a robotic way as the baby boomers or the Gen X was living, where you do not have any time for your kids, you are basically just judging your kid on their ability to do well in the world. You are always judging yourself, you're not living your life fully in the moment, then it's not worth it. But if you did the work that is required to, get some wealth accumulated, get your life in order, then of course you will also evolve to the next step, which is actually, I think, the next generation, Gen Z and Alpha. So Gen Z are the people who are born between 1997 to 2012, and alphas are the people who are born from 2013 to 2025. So we don't know how these kids will be, because they are still kids, but we'll see how they turn out to be. I actually feel humans are evolving more from narcissism towards a higher evolved state where they are not that obsessed with belongings, what they own, how they are perceived in the world, but they are getting more in touch with what their essence is, what their truth is, what their voice is. And that's why you see a lot of these younger people now speaking their truth, and doing a lot of exposes, So a lot of millennials and even a lot of people like Gen X is also helping them, the what you can say like more aware ones of these older generations are also helping. And I'm not like putting all baby boomers and Gen X in a box either. There are so many older people who have always been aware, and they were born in a bad time where most of the other people around them were very unaware and robotic and hypnotized. But these people now, the older folk also, even the baby boomers or the Gen X, who have always been a bit weird for their time, are now getting a platform where they can go and they can actually say what they wanted to say or all their life. So, like you see so many older people at the protests and so many older people posting things online now. They have learned the new tools. And finally, now they have a world where they can actually express an opinion which is different than other people's opinion, and they don't get like shunned for it. And maybe, in fact, their opinion could be a part of a more like a more weighted opinion in the public, and they feel a sense of like solidarity with other people. So basically, this is the reason why a lot of people are waking up now, is because they are rejecting the 9 to 5. They are rejecting being hypnotized and being handcuffed by a big mortgage, a family you have to take care of, etc. And they are seeing the world for the first time in large numbers for what it is. And that's why you see so many exposes on social media, the public opinion widely swinging, to the other side. And I have always been like a proponent of the middle path. That's what Buddhism teaches. So I'm not saying this side is correct or that side is correct, because every side is conditioned by their own past, right? That's why millennials and which is also called Gen Y, millennials who are born from 1981 to 1996, they are kind of in the middle, because they have seen the both the paths, right? They have seen the world where it was very boxed up and you have to do this, and now the world where it's almost like you can do anything. So it's kind of a good mix, and I feel if you really want to get beyond your conditioning, what you have to do is you really have to look at the other person's point of view as well. And you have to understand that this is the way duality will work. Some people will be on this side, some people will be on this side. You can be on either side wherever you feel the most called to be. But you have to realize that this is how duality works. There will be narcissism, and there will be people who are waking up to narcissism. And this is always going to continue. So, there will never be a world where there's no narcissism. So, that's how it is going to be. And I just wanted to kind of like make this video, because I really feel the newer generations are moving more and more towards the light, and they get a lot of flack for being lazy, for being too opinionated and too entitled. But I think it's just them speaking their truth, and being met with people who were not able to speak their truth when they were kids, and so they got into the habit of not speaking the truth and of being society pleasers. And it's too late for them to change now, for a lot of them, not all of them. So yeah, that was this video. I hope this gave you some insights or was interesting to you. As always, I wish you all a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.